right. Hopefully we have no issues tonight. I know all over the internet today, a lot of places are having problems. Facebook, Snapchat, I guess, Instagram, all over the place are having all kinds of issues. So, hello. So, one of my cats. Here, I'll show you. Hello, Miss Soxy. So, anyway, I hope everybody's doing well. Welcome. Today, the day before the 4th of July, so that should be an interesting day tomorrow for everybody. I wanted to say, again, before we get started with the show, stop. Do not get on the mic. Before we start the show, please keep it family friendly. I try to keep it family friendly on here. If you don't, my moderators will boot you off because they're watching all the time. So please, just everybody be respectful of each other. No racism, no hate, that type of stuff. And so anyway, here we go. Okay. So a lot of stuff was happening yesterday. A lot of stuff to really want to pay attention to. Not sure all of it was, okay, so this is the way I always look at stuff. So I look at information, I get all this information in, and I want to share it with you guys right away, obviously. But we always have to look and look through all this information. So there has been reports that there was a missile exchange underwater between an American sub and 2 Russian subs. And, then you hear all these things afterwards, the fire on the Russian sub. And so it was supposedly a research sub, but it had a lot of high-ranking, Russian submariners on that sub. So I kind of found that a little skeptical. We don't know what their true intentions were or what was going on. But now I will say this. I believe that if a U.S. sub was sank, we would have heard about it by now. Okay. There would have been a lot more happening in a hurry if a Russian sub sank one of our subs. Okay. So, could there have been something going on? You don't know. We're never, ever going to be fed or told the real truth. The fact that Putin went back to, and was dealing with his war cabinet, and then you hear the contradicting stories. Okay. So first of all, you hear that Pence was on his way to New Hampshire for some kind of a rally, that his plane was turned around and he came back to Washington. Then you hear that his plane was stopped on the runway, and then you hear he never left Washington in the first place. So where's the truth in that? Again, we're never really going to know, guys. That is the reality of it. Could he have been in the air and called back? Absolutely. Do I think that had a fire on a nuke boat, almost lost it? Yeah, that's exactly what they're saying. Again, we don't know for sure if that's the real truth of the matter. Now, it possibly could be. But what were they doing where they were? And supposedly it was in American waters and, and those type of things. So, but again, we just don't know. And so those are things that we're going to want to pay attention to. And, but again, we get all this information. Everybody's scrambling to get it out there to people, to try to make people aware. And that's what I'm trying to do too. Again, I didn't, one of the biggest things, and it's like, and I'm happy about this, I try to give you what information I have. I'm not going to tell you that the sky is falling. Again, what I want you to realize is this, and I want you guys to all think about this really quickly. Something goes down, we are not going to hear about it right away. They're going to let us know when they let us know. But it can happen that quickly. Like, all that information came out really, really quickly, that Melania Trump was flown out of Washington, Pence was called back. You heard nothing from Trump yesterday, realistically, and that was surprising as well. So there's more going on that we're being led to know, okay? And then you got to figure, too, let's figure in Israel hitting some targets in Syria. Happy 4th of July, Ed. God bless America. Getting along alone. Just thank you very much, and thank you for that donation. I appreciate that. And absolutely, I was just talking to the kids the other day. I said 1976 was when we hit 200 years old. I said I was 11 at the time. I said, I wonder if I can make it to the next one, to the 300-year one. I said that would be interesting. And then she was like, well, is it even going to be here by the time it gets to that? And I'm like, you know what? You're right. You just don't know. You really don't. But I was thinking about that back in that time period when, I mean, I was an 11-year-old kid, and it's like, wow, the country's 200 years old. That was pretty cool. And now look where we're at, So it's actually quite amazing. But, getting back on topic, you have Israel hitting some targets in Syria. A lot of tensions are rising. A lot of things are going on. A lot of things to pay attention to. Now, the other thing, what we got to think about, guys, and this is always something else to think about, what's going on that we don't know about? We're getting fed certain things, okay? And I think things are amping up, and I'm not going to lie, I definitely see things amping up. Would I be surprised if something ends up going down with Iran? Absolutely not. That would not shock me at all. Okay, so again, it's just a crazy situation happening. With a lot of different stuff around the world, a lot of stuff to be concerned about. To be 100% honest with you, I'm a big believer, guys. Always have been. Prepare for the worst, hope for the best, but I do not have a lot of faith in mankind, and that's just being honest. Hey, guys, if you haven't yet, if you could shoot me a thumbs up, I would appreciate it. That would be very nice. Thank you ahead of time. So we'll see what we can jump that number up to tonight. That would be very nice of you. But anyway, like I said, with all these things happening, and if everybody was scrambling yesterday, and I saw it, and we were too. I mean, to get that information out to you guys. And so, but there's a lot of scary stuff going on, and things can change in the blink of an eye. And even when something does happen, and let's say it's something major. Hey, Smitty, how you doing tonight? Thank you. He said, hello, Ed. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate that. Thank you. I got a lot of information, guys, from different places. I had somebody tell me that at one of the Air Force bases that they're next to, that all the bombers were gone. And they said that was strange. Another place up by Buffalo, New York, they said there's a lot more activity than normal going on as far as around the bases. Okay, I had another base, somebody told me they were on lockdown. So all these things, you put that all in together, and it tells me that there's things to be concerned about that are going on. I talked before, I said the situation with Iran, I felt that there was this lull that's happening now is they move the chess pieces into play. Okay, that's just my take on it. And then when they're ready to do what they need to do, they're going to do what they need to do. And, so it's kind of, it's very surreal. It's really scary to sit back and watch this all unfold. But again, what do any of us, the average layman, the average person, what do we have control over any of that? We don't. So what we need to do as the average citizen, again, is just try to be as ready as we can be. That's funny, though. Yeah, Mike saying they called him, wanted to borrow his fighter jets and tanks. But, the calm before the storm. Exactly. It is absolutely, that's kind of the way I'm looking at it, too. China will play the new world trade order in progress to take the Taiwanese gold back they wanted for years. It's all deceiver and power. You know what? I agree with you, and thank you for that donation. Prepper Nick, I think that's how you say your name. If I said it wrong, I apologize. Central Florida Prepper. Hey, Ed, thanks for going live on this tonight. Sorry I missed the last couple, but I make sure to catch the replays. Keep up the great work. Thank you very much. And again, thank you for that donation. I appreciate that. I wanted to make something clear. Now, I was over on Little Prepper Lady's channel today, and of course, we all have our haters. It happens. And somebody was saying that, I'm all about the money. I'm all about the super chats. I've never once came on here and ever said, give me a super chat, ever. If somebody gives me a super chat, and I'm going to be honest, I am going to acknowledge that because they are taking that time out to make a donation to me, and I'm going to acknowledge it. So that I will always do. That, to me, it's a respect thing. So I appreciate you guys doing what you do. And I'm going to tell you what, and I've talked about this before, any kind of donation that comes our way, it goes back into the property to help us live our lives and do what we need to do here. And that's what we do. So I just wanted to make that clear. People are going to hate me anyway, which is just fine. Like they were saying in this conversation how Mountain Girl has to be a relative of mine, and I actually laughed at that because Mountain Girl is a very nice person. I've talked to her several times on the phone. Just a really, really sweetheart of a person. And no, we're not relatives. She lives up in Maine, and she's happily married and has been so for 30 plus years. So, she's just a good person. So people, again, people are going to expect. It's just like with Little Prepper Lady and I. Okay, Little Prepper Lady and I are good friends. That's it. Everybody want to read more into it than is there, and it's not. So but people are going to think what they want to think, and that's fine. And I don't really care. People have been very critical of her and saying some very hateful things to her, and it's unfortunate. And she went off the other day and had a little rant, which we are all subject to do. I want you guys to think about this. As YouTubers, okay, we are attacked constantly. Any channel, and I don't care, not just my channel, not just Little Prepper Lady, any of the channels out there, they're attacked constantly. You're always going to have people that hate you no matter what you do. And that's just part of YouTube, okay? But it's how you deal with it. Now, I have gone off on some rants a few times. I did not use the colorful language that Little Prepper Lady used, but that's okay. That's how she felt she needed to deal with it. So that's how she decided to deal with it, And, it is what it is. And that's not ever going to change. So you just have to learn to deal with that. Well, Marshmallow, she said, I think Little Prepper Lady is pretty and kind and can't understand what's to hate. You're always going to have people that are going to be bitter for whatever reason in their life. You got to understand, it's like people don't want people to be happy, okay? A lot of, not everybody. There's a lot of us that are going to wish, I hope everybody could be happy. I really, truly do. And, but again, it's like you're going to have a certain element of people that are so miserable and are so unhappy with their own life that they don't want other people to be happy. So that's why they lash out and they attack. And I'm a big believer in those type of people. You need to feel sorry for them. You really, truly do. And that's just my view on that. So, but like I said, people are going to think what they want to think, and that's fine. And it's never going to change. And she has to learn that that's part of the game here. That's part of the whole YouTube game. And she will. And I'm trying to give her advice, but here's the problem with Little Prepper Lady. She's very stubborn, just like I am. So, Schmitty says, we are being deceived in our own intel on Iran. Oh, I agree with you 100%. And thank you again, Schmitty, for that donation. You're right. We are being deceived. We're not ever going to be fed the whole truth of anything. So they're going to feed us what they want us to see. They're going to try to sway our minds to think the way they want them to be. Okay. So, it's just the way it is. It's never going to change in that aspect. So, but anyway, going back to Little Prepper Lady being stubborn, her and I are the same. We're two bullheaded people. So we're like this. She says to me, she goes, half the time I want to punch you in the mouth. And I laugh. I just laugh at her because she's so tiny. But she's a good person. So, but anyway, getting back on topic, there's a lot of things going on. A lot of craziness obviously going on right now around the world that obviously is something that we all need to be concerned about. And it's really, really important just to really try to keep away from the distractions, if you will, and focus on what's important. And continuing to prep, continuing to get ready, continuing to make those connections if you can, okay, with like-minded people. Again, and I'm going to say, and again, guys, if you haven't yet, would you throw me a thumbs up? I would appreciate that, because I see we're up to almost 500 people in the chat now. So if you guys could throw me a thumbs up, I would appreciate it. So getting back to what I was saying, on my website, preppernurse1.com, we have the Prepper Nurse 1 community, okay? It's a great place to meet like-minded people. It is completely free to join. It doesn't cost anything to join. It's very, very private, so outside people can't come in here and see what's going on, or you have to be registered. It's a great place. We got great message boards. There's always information going up, and there are, if you're looking to connect with like-minded people, just to bounce ideas off of, just to talk with other like-minded people, a great place for that. If you're looking to try to get together with a prepper group. It's another great way to connect. Or if you're just trying to make affiliations, they're all great ways to get to know people. And when we deal with being preppers and being off-gridders and, people saying we're crazy all the time, it's great to go to a place where you have everybody is on the same mindset. And that, I think, is awesome. So that's why we have that at, PrepperNurse1.com. And it's the Prepper Nurse One community there. I did want to mention real quick while I was thinking about it, so I want to get this out of the way. We have the sale continued by popular demand. We got asked to extend the sale. So we did extend the sale till this Sunday on any of the bucket meals. Any bucket meal that you want to get, if you take advantage of that now, you get 25% off savings. And actually, it's a really, really great way to have that long-term freeze-dried food storage as a backup along with your other preps. And I tell you guys, have your canned goods, have your beans, your rice, your corn, your oats, and all those type of things. But you should have legacy as well. Really just a smart thing to do. But anyway, that is on sale right now on the website as well. So, but let's see what else I was going to say. So a lot of crazy stuff, like I said, with the whole situation, and people saying that there was an attack with the whole submarines underwater. I think if that had been the case, I think you would definitely seen something else jump off from that. If they sunk one of our submarines, meaning Russia, it would have been a whole different kettle of fish going on today. So, JJ just said, I picked up a box of MREs at the PX on Pope Air Force Base. There you go. You know what? And they're not bad to have. And I just showed you guys that when I went garage sailing with my mom, I picked up a case of MREs. Like I said, I have MREs. I have a ton of canned food. I have a ton of rice. As you guys know, I've talked about how much rice. I have a lot of rice. Beans. I have a ton of beans. I think it's really important that we all have, a variety of different things to eat. And, like I said, right now, I just had somebody sent me an email from Tennessee, or no, not Tennessee. It was Indiana, I believe. I believe it was Indiana. So certain stuff it was saying on the store, it had on the shelf, we're having issues keeping this in stock right now. Between now and August 8th, or I think is what they said. So you're looking at a 6-week period. We're trying to get this back in stock, they said. So there are already shortages of food, okay? With what is going on around the world, not just in the United States, guys, but around the world with the food crisis. I mean, you look at what's going on right now in India, okay? Let's talk about that for a second. When you're talking about 112, 114 degree temperatures and people are dropping like flies, that is a huge, huge issue, okay? They're not getting their normal, I want to call it a cyclone. I don't know what comes through there. The rainy season for them, it didn't go up as high as it normally does. It went just through the lower tip of it. So they're dealing with major, major heat over there. I know Europe is dealing with major heat right now. The monsoon. Thank you, Robert. Thank you. Yeah, the monsoon season. Typhoon, Joe said. Whatever, they get a ton of water or a ton of. I think it is the monsoons though, I believe, but they usually get that and it cools things down and they're better off. And okay, it is monsoon. Okay, but so they're not. That just hit the tip of India. That didn't go up higher like it normally does. So they're having a lot of issues. And we look at Europe again right now. You're having high temperatures, and so you're not having the crop growth like normal. You look at the flooding that we had here in the United States, okay, and how a lot of farmers, like even here in New York, we had a lot of the farmers got their crops in late this year. So we have to, you need to think about those things because the food prices are going to do nothing but go up because of this type of a crisis. The more that we can prepare now, the more that we can put ourselves in a situation to be as self-reliant as we possibly can, the better off we're going to be. And all the heat is going to be coming to the Western world. Just be ready. Yeah, I would agree with you, Chris. I know down in the South they're getting heat already. Rapper Tupac called it, "We are not meant to survive it. It's a setup." You know what? There is, in my opinion, there's an agenda going on. They want to depopulate. They don't want to share the resources, and I truly believe that that is the case. So if the best way to get rid of people, how would you do it? Starvation, disease, natural disasters, technically natural disasters, but who knows if it's natural or not. Uh, so there's a lot going on. Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea, odds are stacking up against the U.S. Well, the one good thing is that we are talking with North Korea. I thought that that was really, really an important step in the right direction. Again, I am hopeful. Like I said, always hope for the best, okay? I am hopeful that these situations can be resolved. But again, I don't count on that ever, ever, okay? So, my thing is, again, prepare, prepare, prepare. Somebody had said on here earlier, never stop prepping. And that's important. Don't stop prepping, because when it goes off, guys, it's going to catch us all by surprise. We're all going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe whatever the event is just happened. Okay. And I truly believe that's how it's going to be. It's going to be like one day, today, everything is fine. And tomorrow it's going to be bam, just like that. And I think that's how, when it happens, I think that's how it's going to happen. I don't do times. I don't make predictions of when, and I've told you guys this before, and I've been probably saying it as far as the food aspect of things, guys. I've been saying that for 6 months. And I not only talk the talk, I walk the walk. Anybody that's watched my videos knows I continue to stock up on food. I actually just had my one half-sister stop by today, Margie, and she brought some more food up here today, and we're making some plans for her. And, so you know what? I don't think it'll be war with Russia. I really, truly don't. Honestly, if you want to know who the true enemy is, and this is in my heart, this is what I feel. The true enemy is China. That's the true enemy. They want to be number one in the world. They have more people than we do, a lot more people than we do, so they could sustain heavy, heavy losses. So, yep. Keep like you keep telling it. If you haven't started prepping, start now. Absolutely. Great comment. If you haven't started prepping, or if you thought about prepping and haven't done it, absolutely you should do it. I did want to say too, guys, if you are not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell icon so you get notifications. And again, to all my regular subscribers, make sure you stay subscribed, because they do play games. YouTube does play games. So again, make sure that you're getting those notifications. I live stream 3 days a week, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. I do it every week. Okay. That is not going to change. So, and then I post videos every day, and like I said, sometimes you get 2 videos in a day, depending. Cause like yesterday I did my first video, and then I got that information that came in, and I'm like, I better go do another video. And that's what I did, because I wanted to share that with you guys as soon as I got that information, because I think that it's important. I think we all need to stay aware. We need to stay focused. But again, the primary focus, guys, needs to be on preparation for all of us. And our families are more important than anything else, and the people in your groups. So, do you read anything into the warning of a potential terrorist attack on the 4th of July? Great question, Aaron. My advice to people would not be in large crowds tomorrow. Small towns, I think those are going to be safe. But your larger places where you're going to have a lot of people gathering to watch fireworks, those are going to be areas of opportunity, if you will. I mean, even if you were in a small town, let's say this, okay? Let's say you're in a small town. There's a place that we went a couple years ago, Heather and I went to go watch the fireworks. Excuse me. Eddie doesn't like the fireworks. He doesn't like to go see them. So Heather and I took the bike, jumped on a bike, went down to a town called Warsaw. Vincent, weather is being controlled. Preppers will make it. You know what? I agree with you that the weather's definitely being controlled, and I think things are being done on purpose. And thank you very much for that donation as well. But so Heather and I went down to this town called Warsaw, and they had a fireworks show there in this town, and there was probably couple hundred people, all sitting around watching this fireworks, and it was fantastic. We had a great time, and we were right there and got to see it, and it was absolutely fantastic. But that would be if there was an enemy of the country looking to hurt us. What better opportunity would they have? You have people all together, gathered, not paying attention, looking up at the sky at the fireworks, and and hearing the bang, 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 bang. So you wouldn't realize right away that they were being attacked. So I personally, like I said, I believe that I wouldn't be in a crowd tomorrow is what I'm just going to suggest, because you just never know. There's a lot of places you can go where you can watch fireworks from a distance. You don't have to be right there. So have you heard about China about going through a massive food crisis? Their crops have been hammered. Yeah, absolutely. Well, you look at China with the pig situation. They had to kill a lot of pigs because of some kind of disease that was going through them. So, when you're talking about that massive amount of people that they have, and you have issues like that, that is going to affect things, Jessica said, I watch at my house. That's what we used to do a lot, honestly. When we lived in Rochester, they displayed it on Channel 9 News. So we would sit there. African swine flu. Okay, thank you, Michael. Yep. But they were having all kinds of issues, and they had to euthanize a tremendous, it's like 200,000 pigs or something like that. I know it was like a crazy huge number. So if you think about all that food being taken off the table, that's going to affect things. It really, really is. So, lost half the hogs, Michael just said. Yeah, I knew that was, like I said, it was a huge, huge amount of hogs that they had to euthanize. So, and we've had things happen here in the United States too, and they've happened over, in different parts of Europe as well. So there is, food is going to be key. And for whatever reason in my head for a long time now, and I mean like 6 months or better, that is something that I've been talking to you guys about, food, because, depending on what part of the country you are, water is going to be available. The biggest most important thing with water is making sure that it's purified so that you can drink it. Okay. So that's important as well. So definitely, do that, guys. Pay attention that way as well. 210 million pigs. Yeah. Okay. That's even more than I thought. Okay. So I knew it was a large number of pigs. That's crazy. Think about that. That's a lot of food. But being able to have a way to purify water, unless you live in a desert. If you live out in Arizona, guys, you live in California, in certain parts of California, you live in Nevada. If you live in those parts of the country where it's a lot drier, definitely stock up on your water. Where we're in New York, we get a lot of rain, we get a lot of water. Okay, so water is not an issue. That's not my first priority, because I've showed you guys what I have out here. I have a 1,000-gallon storage tank underground. I have an artesian well that's always coming up. And I have a 550-gallon storage tank that I use as a rain catchment system. So water is, no water here in Nevada. Exactly. So, Kenneth, you got to think about that. What I want you guys to think about, guys that live, California, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, all you guys out there in those areas, if we had a major event where no vehicles were working, you couldn't drive a car anymore, and you have to walk out of that area because there is no water, how far are you going to get? How much water do you have to be able to get to where you need to go? Those are things in my brain. If I'm in that area, that's what I'm thinking. That's a priority. Okay. So I definitely want you guys to think about those things. You have to look at regionally where you are, what you have locally that you can use and what you cannot use. Okay. So that's really, really important. So I want you to think about that. Like I said, I'm in New York. We got a ton of water up here. We got lakes everywhere. Look at Minnesota, okay? Minnesota, the land of 1,000 lakes, I think they call it. You get up, we have the Thousand Islands up here in New York, okay? They got waters all over the place over there. So we have a ton of water in New York, and we have a lot of lakes and stuff like that here too. So water is not going to be 10,000 lakes. Yes, okay. Even if you believe Little Prepper Lady gets more views than she should because she is a hot chick, I still don't condone disrespectful behavior. Prepper Nick Ford just said it, and I agree with you 100%. You know what? If she can get more views because she's a good-looking girl, good for her. Use what you got, okay? I don't, you know what? I would never say don't use what you have. But, shoot, I'm late. Sorry, I'm drunk. Keep it up, bro. Lockridge Farms. Thank you very much, and thank you for that donation. But, yeah, you know what? So what? Little Prepper lady is very good-looking, guys. Absolutely. Anybody can see that she's a very good-looking young lady. But here's the other thing that's important, and I think this is important, and her and I have talked about this. What I find attractive about her is her mind, because she's smart. So when you have somebody that can have an intelligent conversation and knows what they're talking about, I think that goes a long way too. Being good looking and spewing out nonsense, that doesn't go very far. But when you have somebody that is, they're easy on the eyes, great, but they have a brain in their head and they can come out with information that they have good information to share, I think that that's great. So, and guys, if you haven't shot me a thumbs up yet, please do so. I would appreciate that. What Berkey model should I buy? Prepper, Florida Prepper. If you're going to go with a Berkey, it depends on the size of your family. If you want to go with the big Berkey, you want to be able to filter, 5 to 6 gallons of water a day easily. That's what I would say. Go with the larger ones are better because they're all going to filter at a certain pace, okay? But if you have a bigger one, you can fill that up, let it do its business, and and go from there. So Kenneth says I have the family one. Yeah, and that's what we have here. There's the 3 of us, and we're always using it. And she's blonde. Tubular Guy 9 said, yeah, she is. That's funny. She's probably watching us going, oh my God. But hey, yeah, 5 gallons of water a day. And exactly. So if you're getting 5 gallons of purified water a day, that's a good amount of water for drinking, cooking, and those type of things. So, like I said, I love mine. I recommend it highly. It's great to have, okay? But again, if you got to bug out, having this big steel container under your arm trying to bug out is not idealistic, okay? So I think it's important to have that for your home, but it's also important to have, like I said, I have my Katadyn water filter, which is under a pound, that I keep in my bug out bag, okay? We have 2 people, so our Berkey is just right. Yeah, good. That's awesome. Yep. And like I said, ours is absolutely fine too. I keep an eye on the level. I see what fresh water we got in the lower part. And when we get down to a certain level, I fill the top back up again. So that's the way we do it. On the go, get a Sawyer micro squeeze water filter. Yeah, your Sawyer water filters, your like I say, your Katadyns. If you're looking for bang for your buck, Katadyn is the way to go. One filter will filter 10,000 gallons of water. So the mini Sawyers, you're looking at about 250 gallons of water, which is great to get you where you want to go, to get yourself set up however you want to do it. But, there is a lot of different ways to go. Also, you should have, you can get them at camping stores, the tablets to be able to purify water as well. So, yeah, guys, if you have questions, please all cap locks so that they'll stand out to me more. I'm thinking about burying caches of food along the AT I live near. You know what, Alan? That is a very smart thing to do. Definitely, guys, and I've talked about caches as well. You definitely should have caches out there if you get invaded or raided in those type of situations. Having a cache of food, supplies, extra clothes, all those type of things that you are going to need. The way I did so I'm going to explain how I do my caches. When I get my bucket that I'm going to put into ground, and I'm not talking about a 5-gallon bucket, I go with the bigger ones, okay? What I look at it, I've said, okay, if I was completely naked, what do I need if I dig this up? And that's the mindset I go with. So I go with socks. I go with wool socks as well. I go with a pair of boots, jeans, even like sweatpants as well, okay? Extra shirts, long underwear. all those things like that. Then I'm looking at tools. What do I need to have? In every cache, I'm going to bury a multi-tool. In every cache, I'm going to have some kind of filtration system, even if it is a Sawyer water filter system. Okay, I'm going to have a pan that I can boil water in. I'm going to have food in that cache. Okay, so I'm going to have a lot of different things that I look at. A tarp, some kind of the emergency blankets type of things, those type of things as well. Paracord, all those type of things are going in that cache. So, and then you just look at it, and then you start your next cache, and that's a smart way to do it. It's having different ways to be able to help yourself survive in that emergency situation is very, very smart. Because again, we're talking about a chance of life or death. And I think it's really, really important that we stay on top of stuff, because when things jump off, guys, I'm telling you right now, it is going to be like, oh my God. Somebody said, what about life straws? Absolutely. They're very good to have. Very good to have. Have you thought about getting some beehives? Sam, I absolutely have. And that is something that I want to do for sure, because I absolutely love honey. In the wintertime, I drink tea all the time. And I love honey, so I do that all the time. So that is definitely something that we want to have here. And it's so hot here in the South. Old and Slow just said that. I know you guys have been getting it. We actually hit 86 degrees here today. Very, very muggy. Had a couple of periods of light showers today. They said it was going to rain off and on, and it was mostly hot and muggy today. So it was very, very warm today. Check out Finding a Swarm for free. I've seen that, Elizabeth. I've seen that they do the different swarms, and the queen will leave, and she'll take part of the hive with her. So yeah, I definitely, like I said, I definitely want to have bees down the road. I have other things that I want to try to get in place first. To be honest with you, I work, guys, when I'm doing things. I try to go with a mindset of not, oh my God, I'm running out of time. I'm thinking, okay, work at things methodically, and that's what we do. So, as you guys know, anybody that's followed my channel, my two big projects this year. Hey, Lockridge Farms, what do I make of the Russian sub sinking? It didn't sink. It had a fire, and it got pulled back to port. I think it was just some kind of a mishap possibly on that. I don't think we'll ever get told the full story of that. I don't think there was an exchange with the U.S. sub, and I know there was talk that the U.S. sub was sank. I think that if a U.S. sub was sank, we would already be at war. So I don't think that was the situation that happened. Maybe they were at where they shouldn't be, and but those things are going to happen. And hey, KRFJR, thank you for that donation. Thank you very much. But anyway, what we try to do, and like I said, anybody that's watched my channel knows, like this year, my big projects this year was getting the solar rack up, and also getting up the chicken coop and getting chickens. And we've accomplished those goals. We've done other things here already at the homestead this year. And, I just, so I have other things that I want to try to get done. And so we're just working at things methodically. You can't, if you don't have the money, you can't do things, obviously. So you have to plan things out, make your arrangements, get things done. And that's what we're trying to do. And really, really pleased of what we've got accomplished this year. Getting the chickens was a huge, huge step for me. Next year, like I said, I have a couple of other goals that I want to get accomplished. I want to get a greenhouse in here, and I want to do an aquaponics system with a greenhouse, and I want to do a geothermal. Because anybody that knows New York, we get cold up here, and in the wintertime, I still want that greenhouse to be viable and just something that I can work with. So if we go with geothermal and do it that way, that's going to be a great way to do it, to keep it at least a temperature of 58 degrees in that greenhouse at all times. Yeah, STD all the way. Absolutely, Law and Order Prepper. Work at things methodically, guys. Have some kind of game plan. If you are thinking, oh my God, nothing I can do, I'm too late, I'm just going to give up. That is the wrong attitude to have. Never give up. Have goals, work at them, even if it's a little bit at a time. I've mentioned this several times, and I'm going to mention it now. 95% of the people in this country are not ready for a 2-week disaster. 95%. Okay, so if you can put yourself in that category of that 5%, so how do you do that? 2 weeks worth of food and water. 2 weeks worth of food and water puts you in a 5% category, which is an advantage over the other 95% of the people in this country. Okay, that's huge, huge, and I don't understand why more people don't do that. We are legion, Kate said. Absolutely. Talk about this too, guys. We are a huge, huge, huge family. Huge family. All over the world, all over the country. Hey, Julie Day, for Ed's Chicken McMansion, LOL. Thank you very much. Thank you for that donation. I appreciate that. But we are this huge family, guys. Not just in the United States, not just in Canada, not just in South America, not just over in Europe, not just in Australia. All of us together, we are a huge family, and we are going to make a difference. When I say we are Legion preppers, we are Legion. Why? Because we are many. There's so many of us out there. There really are, and we can make a difference. Okay, we really, really can. And so it's really, really important that we work on that and try to work towards those goals to help ourselves first. And then once something happens, then we try to help everybody else that we can at that point. Would you say 6 to 8 months of food is enough for keep stocking up? Linda, good question. Abel? Oh, Preppernick. Oh, Abel is one of our cats. Eddie named him. We were going to call him Runt. And I will address that in just 1 second, what you said about the food. Abel is one of our kittens, and he was he was the runt of the litter, so we were calling him Runt. And then he became Eddie's cat, and Eddie wanted to name him Abel, so that's why he is Abel. So there's that story. Okay, as far as food goes, 6 to 8 months of food is great if you can do it. The more you can do, the better, to be honest with you. You might have that initial goal of getting to 6 to 8 months. What you have to think about, guys, and this is something important, your stockpile of food is not where you sit back and just eat that food, okay? What you want to have is you want to have a good stockpile of food to supplement with your wild edibles, anything that you can hunt, and and those type of things. Okay, and once you get your crops in the ground and hopefully get a good harvest, those are going to be, you're going to supplement. So you want to put in a huge garden, obviously, at that point. Okay, and so you want to do that, but everything's not going to come in. Everything always doesn't come in. So if you put all your eggs in one basket, like we did a few years ago, I put in 18 tomato plants. Good example, okay? I put in 18 tomato plants, and I put in peppers, and I put in a couple other things as well. Everything else did great. My tomato plants ended up getting some kind of a blight, and I ended up getting, I think, 3 or 4 edible tomatoes off of 18 plants. So I basically put all my eggs into this one big basket, expecting this huge tomato crop that I could can, and that's what I was going to can all these tomatoes, and it was going to be great. It didn't happen, okay? So that was a problem. That was a huge, huge problem. So, you have to, when you're putting in your gardens, you have to make sure it's diversified so that if something doesn't happen, doesn't come in, then hopefully something else will. Last year we put in cucumbers, a great example, okay? Last year we put in cucumbers. On 6 cucumber plants, we had over 300 cucumbers. I mean, I had cucumbers coming out of my ears. I mean, I was giving them away, just giving them away to all my neighbors and stuff. But I like to do that anyway. So, plant eggplants between your tomatoes. It keeps the rot out. Okay, Chris, thank you for that information. Thank you for that. But so anyway, that's. I know his name is Abel. Is he hunting? Oh yeah. He's definitely. Thank you again for the donation. Yeah, he is a hunter. I mean, if you guys saw in the video I did the other day, he came out of the swampy area where we're going to put the pond with a frog. So yeah, they're all hunters. My cats, that's what they do. Hey, L. Gibson, do you put a water preserver in your stored water? You don't have to. You don't have to. as long as you're rotating it, and like I said, what I would suggest to anybody, and thank you for that donation too, I appreciate that. What I would suggest to anybody, if you're storing water, while we still have everything working and everything is great, every 6 months rotate your water. So in the best way is in like the blue barrels, the bigger 50-gallon blue barrels, okay, the 55-gallon drums, if you will. Store it there, keep it in a cool, dry place, keep it out of the sunlight, and then just every 6 months, use that water and then refill it with fresh water. That's what I would do, and that way you're keeping that water fresh. Guys, if you haven't done so yet, would you throw me a thumbs up? I would appreciate that if you would do that. So, I know I wasn't sure how well the show was going to go tonight, because I know with all the other issues with, like I said, Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that, I said, man, I hope we don't have a problem with the show tonight. Kenneth says, I have a 1,500-gallon storage with 1 cup of Clorox in it. Okay, well, you know what? That's awesome as well. There's nothing wrong with that. What about storing well water? Nothing wrong with storing well water. We use well water. We use nothing but well water. All our water for our home is off the well, so that's how we use ours. The other water that I have is all for the garden. In the 550-gallon tank, that's what we use to, Russell Grant says I rotate every year. Yeah, as long as you got a schedule. I will be homeless come November. What do you suggest? I'm scared. It gets deadly cold here. Joe, I don't, it depends on what your situation is of where you can go. If you can get to a better climate and have a plan in place, always have some kind of plan or put a plan in place. What you want to, how you want to do, where you want to go. Where does the wastewater go? You can use it for your gardens. You can absolutely use wastewater for your gardens and stuff like that. Water your trees and stuff like that. As long as you're not putting, bad chemicals into your wastewater, that's what my suggestion would be. Let's see. Plant marigolds around your tomatoes and peppers. Helps with insect infect. Yeah, I do that every year, and I tell everybody, always make sure you are putting in, marigolds in your garden. I've done it since I was young because my grandparents did it, and they did it for that reason. Pests don't like marigolds, so it's definitely the way to go, and that's what you need to do for sure. Marigolds are a great thing to have in your garden. It definitely helps keep out the pests, and it helps your plants. Let's see. Yeah, Greg L. Gibson just said gray water should be used for outside watering. Absolutely. Flowers in the garden help with pollination. Yeah, you know what? And absolutely, it encourages the bees to come in there and do their thing as well. Absolutely, it does. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, John X Army exposed to Facebook today. It's a must watch. Absolutely. He actually contacted me today and sent me that information. So, guys, I would definitely suggest going over to John X Army's channel and checking that out and seeing what he was showing about Facebook today. It was really, really interesting. He sent me that information today. So definitely go and check that out for sure. I wanted to say this while I was thinking about it too, guys. I want to thank all my moderators who come on here and they moderate my channel for free. They don't get anything for it. I truly appreciate them, and they help keep everything clean on here. I mean, as you guys have seen a little bit tonight, we have the porn bots are out again. But my guys, my moderators and girls are on top of stuff, and I appreciate all of you. I really, truly do. Yeah, much of the internet was wacko today. Yes, it was. A lot of issues. So I'm glad that we didn't have any issues with the live stream tonight. I was concerned that we might because of that. Okay. Had issues with my 4G periodically. Yeah, there was some weird stuff. People couldn't post pictures or see pictures and all kinds of craziness going on. But it's John X EX Army. So it's JON EXARMY. That's the channel. And he just did a thing on today about what was going on with Facebook, and he was showing you guys some really, really interesting stuff. That definitely something worth checking out for sure. Yeah, I know you were going to say you were a girl. I know, and that's why I made sure I said guys and girls, my moderators. Like I said, I appreciate all of you. Jen is awesome. Jen is absolutely awesome. What are your plans for the RV? It should have a big water tank. Actually, the water tank in the RV is only about a 30-gallon tank, I think. So it's not a huge tank in the RV. We're talking about that. I'm thinking about possibly putting something over the top of the RV to help with for the water, so that there, because I'm getting some water damage. I'm going to be honest with you in the RV, and so I really need to get in there and gut out part of the RV and try to clean things up in there. But again, I got to get something over the top of it first to make sure that it's going to be solid, so that it doesn't get any more water damage. So, all right. So we got to do this, guys. So first of all, once again, if you haven't shot me a thumbs up yet, please do so. So now here's the part I love, because this is going to fly here in a second. I want everybody to tell me where they're from, because this is my legion. You guys are my family and my legion of other preppers and off-gridders. So where's everybody from? Show me where you're all from here, guys. We got Oklahoma, Ohio, Chicagoland, Tennessee, Raleigh, North Carolina, Missouri, New York. Man, this is flying. Alabama, Florida, Texas, England, Cincinnati, Ohio, North Carolina, Michigan, Oklahoma, Indiana, Ohio, Virginia, Western Colorado, Oregon, Canada, backwoods of New Jersey, Long Island, Oklahoma. Are there backwoods in New Jersey? Grand Rapids, Michigan, California, Chicago, Arkansas, Indiana again, Maryland, Arlington, Texas, South Carolina. We got Oklahoma. Hey, Prepper Nick. I didn't see that. I'm going to have to go back. Hold on a second. Hold on 1 second. I got to go back so I can see what you said here. All right, let's see. If there was a Chinese invasion, do you think the undocumented South and Central American immigrants would play a big role in participating in a possible revolution in uniting the American patriot rebels against China? I think they would help if they came here. Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Oh, here's Eddie with one of the cats. Okay,
yeah, Maxie.
It's Maxie. Yeah. I think that I think they would, if this is now going to be their adopted country, I think that they would pitch in for survival. Absolutely, I think they would pitch in. We got Miami, Florida, Arkansas, Minnesota, Missouri, Hawaii, New York, Jacksonville, North Carolina, Massachusetts, Louisiana, Kansas, Scotland, very cool, New York, Jacksonville, Florida, okay, Phoenix in Michigan, Greenland, oh, that's cool, New England, Indiana, New Zealand, there we go, let's see, Texas, former Yugoslavia, very cool. So here's the thing, is what I want people to remember something here, okay, we're going to talk about the United States for a second. And I love this when people say this whole immigrant crisis type of situation with all these people coming in here illegally into the United States. At one time, all of our ancestors, other than the Native Americans, were immigrants here, okay? And so we need to think about that too. I think that some of the people that are coming here are coming because they truly want help. I really, truly believe that, okay? But then other people are coming here with definitely nefarious intentions, coming here to do damage to us. And they're sliding in with all the rest of these people, okay? So I think you're going to, but I want people to remember all of us come from a diverse background. One of the guys in my group, okay, used to be in the Ukraine. Great guy. And I won't say his name, but great guy, okay? But he's been here in the United States since '96, and he's married, has a couple of kids now. But just, salt of the earth type of person. Everybody that's coming here is not bad. Everybody that is looking to come to the United States does not have bad intentions. So I want people definitely to remember that part as well. Now, believe me, I'm a big believer in coming into the United States the right way, not just crossing the border and coming in here and getting anything handed to them. I don't believe in that, but some people are really truly seeking asylum. They really are. So let's just keep that in mind, okay? I mean, don't get me wrong, a lot of people are not, okay? But we just need to think about those things as well. Looking for a better life, exactly. Like any of us. What do we all want? I mean, think about it realistically. No matter what part of the world we're in, guys, no matter what country we're in, what do we want? At the end of the day, we want to be loved. We want to be, have our families, somebody that cares about us, and to be happy. I mean, most people, I should say, you have some people that's not their intention, but I think most people just want to be happy. And I don't think that that's a bad thing. I think it's safety. Exactly. You don't have to worry about, those type of things. So if a country has no border, you have no country. And I agree with that. Again, I think people should come in here the right way. I don't think we should just open up the doors and let everybody just roll in, because everybody can't do that. People from Europe can't do that. People from Africa can't do that. They have to go through a process to get here. Okay. So when you have a group of people that can just come across anytime they want with no real ramifications for their actions, realistically, that's not the right way to do it. So, like I said, I don't have a problem with anybody coming here if they do it the right way. Did I see Prepper Rabbit's video today on this topic? I did not. He told me he was going to make one, but and I know he took a harder line, and that's his right. He can do that. I don't have a problem with that. Guys, we all have a different viewpoint. We all look at things differently. None of us. We could take, like I said, 10 people in a room, and everybody's going to have a different view on a certain topic. It's just the way it is. But I can't personally vilify everybody. I'm not ever going to lump any group of people, whoever they are, into one category. I won't do it. It's just, because everybody has, a different story. Everybody has a different story. So, Ontario, Canada. A little late, Joe. Northern California. That's all right. That's fine, guys. I think that's still great. That's awesome. So, two sides of every coin, etc. Exactly. So, like I said, I think it's important that we just try to do the best we can. And like I said, prepping is important, guys. Don't ever stop. Continue to get ready. And once you think that you're comfortable, double it. That's my advice. Yeah, we got the porn bots out there, hybrid. It happens. My monitors are definitely jumping on that and taking care of it. So, illegal immigrants are making the U.S. overpopulated. Well, you know what? I agree. It's definitely an issue because it costs the taxpayers more. But what are you going to do? I mean, it's if we can make people viable citizens and they can do something positive, I think that's great. But like I said, what are you going to do? I mean, it's until they actually step down or do a harder line on stuff, it's not going to stop. Thoughts on single older prepper with no bug out location? Sandy, like I said, again, make yourself as viable as you possibly can. Learn as many skills as you can to make yourself worth it to some group. And when things go down, the groups will form. And if you bring skills to the table that are going to be helpful to a group, they're going to welcome you in with open arms. I'm telling you that right now. So, I mean, I know it's scary being alone and being older and trying to prep. It's definitely not, it's difficult, but you can still do it. You can make yourself viable is the most important thing. Sewing, cooking, wild edible plants, medical plants, all those type of things. Learn how to do shoes, make shoes, those type of things. got here? All right, guys, we're 428 on the thumbs up. Let's see if we can jump that up to 500 before we end the show tonight. Did you already talk about the Iran ordeal? I did, Brandon. I talked about that in the very beginning of the show. Yeah, I definitely have my concerns of what's going to happen with Iran. I think that the powers that be are definitely, if you want to call it, hell-bent on going to war with Iran. I think that you're going to see that happen. And I think you're going to see something go down with that. I think, again, like I've said before, I think places or parts are being moved into place. And at some point, you're going to see something happen. But when push... Oh, let me see. Hold on a second. I got to bring that back up so I can see it. But when push comes to shove and the Chinese invade and the New World Order tactics or Mexican population is here, we better be in our culture. We better be such a bond invasion. No drugs at that point in money. Yeah, exactly. So, again, and thank you for that donation as well. There's definitely things to be concerned about. Absolutely no doubt about that at all. But I think that if we are invaded and push comes to shove, I think people are going to find out what the real true American people are all about, okay? I think you're going to see people that are going to step up and they are going to say, we're not playing this game. And I think you're going to see people do what's right at that point. And, regardless of skin color, regardless of religion, regardless of background, regardless of age, a lot of people dismiss older people, but a lot of older people have a tremendous amount of knowledge that they can share. And maybe they can't physically go like the younger folks can, but they can really help out in a lot of ways. Like I said, somebody has to stay up on comms watch. And if you have, somebody's got to watch the little kids, because the kids are going to definitely be the future. While your middle-aged people and your younger people that are able to are going to be out building, hunting, gathering, keeping watch, and keeping everybody else safe. Your older people can be cooking meals, they can be washing clothes, and they can be, watching the little kids and keeping the little kids busy and teaching the little kids. So there's a lot goes into play with that. So don't discount your older people, guys. Morals are going to come into play. Absolutely, Lori, I agree with you 100%. You may hook up with a group and decide, that's not for me. That's not the group I want to be part of. And you may move on from that, which is very well could happen. So, again, these things are going to definitely, you have to go by what your own moral compass is. And if you can get a group ahead of time, again, that is definitely the way to do it. Put yourself in a situation, again, where's my moral compass? I think I got a pretty good moral compass. Thought it was great when the president told California to get the homeless problem fixed now. They're bragging. Hold on a second. I got to go back. They're bragging about their surplus funds and the state funds. Yeah, L. Gibson, that's definitely an issue. California has a tremendous problem right now with over too many people out there not being able to be taken care of and stuff like that. Moral compass always dies on The Walking Dead. Yeah, exactly. But you know what? I believe we need to have some kind of a code. I really, truly do. I'm going to tell you right now, if there was a rapist or a child molester or somebody like that got into my group and I didn't know about it and I found out, I would take them down myself, because you cannot have that. They will poison a group. Somebody like that will poison a group. So definitely try to, surround yourself with good people. And if you can do it now, that's great. That's absolutely great. That's the way to do it. So if you can make those plans ahead of time, try to do it. But, again, after SHTF happened, guys, all bets are off at that point, and it will be very, very interesting. Will women be conscripted to fight? In an SHTF event, women will definitely be in the group and will be combat people in a group. You're going to need to have them be combat people in the group to help this group survive. It can't just be the men. There's a lot of very capable women out there that I would definitely want to have on my side. So women should be armed. Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with that 100%. Everybody should be armed. Once an SHTF happens, everybody should be armed at that point because it's going to be a very dangerous world. So, anyway, guys, let's go one more time here. We're at 469 for thumbs up. Let's see if we can hit 500 here. If you haven't done so yet, shoot me a thumbs up. I would appreciate that. We're going to jump off of here. It's already that time. It's gone by so fast tonight. Again, I want to say real quick, guys, tomorrow's the 4th of July here in the United States, celebrating Independence Day. Please be safe, be smart, guys. That's really, really important. Try to stay away from crowds if you can. That's just my advice. I think it's a smart thing to do. Be safe, and if you're playing with fireworks, guys, please don't do it drunk. Be smart. Every year people lose fingers. It's unbelievable how it happens every year. But just be safe and be smart about it and have a good time. That's really what it should be about, is celebrating and having a good time, but also at the same time be safe. Again, guys, we are all in this together. That's important. I want you to remember that. We really, truly are. We're a big, huge family, and we can help and support each other. And that's so, so important for what's coming. I think that we need to really remember that, okay? Remember, guys, hug and kiss the ones you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. So that's important as well. Because like I said, I tell my kids every single day I tell them. Also remember, guys, STD. It's one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only one that can stop you from getting there is yourself. Nobody else can stop you. Stay positive. Keep grinding it out, guys. Whatever time we got left, use it wisely. Prepare. Hey, we hit 502. Awesome. Again, guys, make sure if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Hit that bell icon. Hit that thumbs up. I do appreciate it. I appreciate everybody tonight. Thank you guys for all being in here. We had a great crowd tonight. It was very, very awesome. And again, thank you to my moderators. They are awesome. They work very, very hard, and they're underappreciated, believe me. So thank you, guys. I will see you guys all tomorrow, and I will see you guys Friday for the live stream on Friday, okay? Have a great night. Prepper Nurse 1, out for now.